Hi, and welcome to TFT Tarot for today, Divine Dabblings with Oberon and Banshee, and this is me, Oberon, with my outlook on the emotional exchanges. It's my weekly forecast reading for the signs of the Zodiac, telling them what kind of emotional tones and situations are around them, and that kind of thing. I'm going to start off with a reading for the collective from the Universal Love Oracle by Tony Carmine Salerno. I hope everyone's doing okay. There's a lot of things that concern many of us emotionally. So hopefully, we get through this. There's a lot of astrological things going on that maybe are helping people see themselves changing or evolving in certain ways. Let's hope so. So our card for the collective is abundance. Abundance is coming your way. When you have an abundant heart, it is only natural that abundance on all levels will follow. So feel abundant, share your love and gifts with those around you. In doing so, you will create a steady flow of abundance. And remember that abundance is a state of mind. Believe you live in an abundant world, and there will be more than enough for all to share. The only limitation to abundance in our world is our own beliefs. So once again, that is the card for the collective from the Universal Love Oracle by Tony Carmine. And I'm going to start off the readings and remind everybody, we use the Modern Love Tarot by Ethne, art by Lucy Morningstar. And these readings are for the signs of the Zodiac, each sign, and are good for rising, sun, moon, or rising. That's the ticket. All right, so Aries, sun, moon, or rising, what is the emotional tone or feel of the week? It's the Page of Swords. So Aries, if you're starting some new projects right now, new adventures, maybe with people, there seems to be a little bit of a delay or sluggishness, and maybe you're getting off to the wrong foot with somebody in a way, and it's probably because of how you're interacting with them on a verbal level, but it may indicate that sort of a dissimilarity in your actual thoughts, and so this new friendship or relationship or situation may not be very smooth, at least at first. So what is your emotional rescue? And the emotional rescue is the Three of Swords. So the emotional rescue may be saying, really, there's something going on for some Aries, maybe that's toxic and that they're going to need to break up, or that this is happening and that there's a lot of hurt feelings here about that. So why is it a rescue? Well, it could be a rescue because, like I said, there's something really toxic here, and that even if there is pain at this point, it may just be really better to get out of this relationship or situation. Finally, Aries, will someone say they love you? I think so, because it's the Ace of Cups, and of course Cups means it will happen naturally, but the Ace of Cups itself is a metaphor for love happening, or relationships, or kindness, beauty, expressions like that. So good luck with that, Aries. And we'll move on now to Taurus, sun, moon, or rising. All right, Taurus, what's the tone for the week? And there's some dismalness going on. It's the star reversed, and emotionally feeling you feel like you have no future, no destiny, or you feel really destitute at this time. Something really is majorly bumming you out, and it could be indicative of, you know, big changes in relationships or situations that involve you and your emotional response with people and things. So what is the emotional rescue? And it's the King of Cups. And so you may have to really dig into your own feelings and see yourself as this person. Or maybe there is somebody in your life who could be this way, somebody who is a good friend and maybe an advisor or counselor. And it could be indicating that for some Tauruses, they may really need to open themselves up to a warm relationship with maybe somebody who has no agendas or games, somebody who can just really relate to, feel a sense of kindness. I mean, I'm not going to disallow a relationship happening, but as an emotional rescue, I see this personality or either being a part of yourself or someone who can help you in this really, you know, dismal time here. Will someone say they love you? No. It's the swords, it's the Ten of Swords reversed, and it may be saying that you are overturning some messy stuff going on, but you're probably moving away. So no to that, Taurus. I'm so sorry. And we will move on to Gemini, Sun, Moon, or Rising. All right, Gemini. What is the tone for the week? It's the Queen of Wands reversed. And so the tone for the week is you're not very outgoing. If there's emotional things going on right now, maybe you're trying to avoid them. But in general, it could just be saying you're really not feeling charismatic. You're not feeling confident about the way you're appearing to others on an emotional level mostly, because that's what the show is about. But that Queen of Wands is usually pretty dynamic and outspoken, and you're anything but that this week, Gemini. What is your emotional rescue? It's the World reversed, and your rescue is realizing that you're not really ready to move on. There's something really big going on here that you need to resolve, or maybe it's not big, but you have to resolve a certain matter that you've been engaged in. I don't think these two are related. I'm not exactly sure of that, but your rescue is really going back to finish something that maybe just hasn't worked out right for you yet. Maybe it is about that. I don't know. A person will say they love you. It's the Cups. Cups means yes, it will happen naturally. It's the Six of Cups, so I almost feel like it could be somebody you knew before, you know, somebody from your past, or somebody that isn't always present for you, but now they are, or they will be. All right, we'll move on to Cancer, Sun, Moon, or Rising. Cancer, Sun, Moon, or Rising. What is the tone for the week? It's the Eight of Cups. It's upright. So the tone for the week is really realizing that there's much more for you to be doing here, especially in your emotional life, that there's movement going on that maybe is taking you where you want to, and so you're sort of reflective of that idea that you have some freedom here to move ahead for those goals. So what is the emotional rescue? It's the Eight of Pentacles. It's upright. It's, well, that's not an 8, is it? Yeah, there's 2 8s here. So the Eight of Pentacles, I like eights. Eights are prosperity or growth. Your emotional rescue is realizing that you more or less have a playbook to work from. You know how it works, and you're able to follow, the program. And it could be saying, really, what you know, what you already do is the best. It's your rescue. The things you've learned, especially in emotional relationships, will serve you well. So, will someone say they love you? And it looks like a no because it's swords. It's the Six of Swords. And it could be saying that you or them are moving on to something else. If there was somebody specific in mind with that. And we'll move on now to Leo, Sun, Moon, or Rising. Leo, Sun, Moon, or Rising, what is the tone for the week? And that tone is the Queen of Pentacles, which is upright. So the tone really is about you kind of taking care of yourself, and or by extension, those who are the closest to you. You're kind of taking care of your world. You're doing what needs to be done for them. You're showing ultimate care, perhaps, in a way. And this is about also your personal goals or achievements that may find you just really being creative, or find productive ways to resolve, situations. The emotional rescue is the Ace of Cups. And it could be saying that maybe there's a new attitude beginning, there's a new situation involving the emotions, and there's a sense of things are beginning and starting off really fresh and can go in any possible direction. Will someone say they love you? There'll be a price to pay for that, but it's the Six of Pentacles reversed. And it could be saying that there's a little bit of hardball with each other in this situation, and that it may be about finding where your real mutual goals or feelings are with each other, but it could happen if you're able to work that out. And now we'll move on to Virgo, Sun, Moon, or Rising. And Virgo, the tone of the week is the High Priestess reversed. So something tells me that you're flying kind of blind this week in terms of the emotions, that you're not understanding that maybe there's somebody who is sending some vibes towards you, or that something's going on emotionally speaking, but you may be opaque to it in certain ways. You're not sensing that, somebody either is going to be engaging you in some way or something like that. What's the emotional rescue? It's the Five of Pentacles reversed. The emotional rescue, though, is realizing that you can find your way through this, that you can find your way to the situations that have been looking for you, or you've been looking for them, and that you're going to feel like you're no longer really alone anymore. So this is sort of saying, like, maybe you're not perceiving what you're going to figure out. Will someone say they love you? And it'll be a little work, but it'll happen. It's the King of Wands, and that could be, you know, an outgoing nature. So if you know somebody like that, maybe they're the one somebody's just going to come up to you and say, I love you, man. But, you know, the King of Wands could represent a very charismatic kind of personality, or somebody who's very confident. And I get the feeling like maybe you could know this person, or this person is moving towards you in some way. I'll just say that. All right, so Virgo, we'll go to Libra now. Sun, Moon, or Rising. Libra, what is the tone or feel for the week? That's the reversed Ace of Wands. So Libras, you might be feeling like something isn't, like a new friendship or situation, relationship isn't quite getting off the ground, or something seems to interfere with it moving smoothly, growing. And it could be that there's a fate factor going on, that maybe this one is just only feels like it was meant to go somewhere, but really may not be, or now it's just not the right time for it maybe. What is the emotional rescue? It's the Empress reversed. So the Empress reversed, that energy seems to suggest that you need to find something else. And I think it's referring to that. It just maybe saying that there's a fallowness, or whatever you want to use term, going on with these situations, and that maybe now's the time to, you know, kind of rest a little bit. And if you're looking for relationships, or if you're looking for involvements of any sort, then it's time for you to maybe reconfigure all that and come up with a new plan or a new emphasis in some way. Will someone say they love you? I think so, because it's cups, so it says it will happen naturally. And it's the Two of Cups, and this, you know, could be just an unconditional kind of love too. I mean, it could just be the love of a friendship you have, but it sort of suggests a sense of people cuddling a little bit, or people sort of, you know, pulling together in a way. So yes is the answer, of course, Libra. And now we will move on to Scorpio. All right, Scorpio, what is the tone or feel of the week? And emotionally, you feel like things are waking you up at night, and you feel really anxious about stuff, and you're worried about almost everything, but especially maybe other people you know. And you probably don't really need to do that, Scorpio. It probably is something like that, that you should just kind of let people figure it out. They'll find their own way, as the saying goes. So what's the emotional rescue? It's the reversed Four Swords. And the emotional rescue is that if this stuff is really bumming you out, you just have to figure out how to recover. You have to throw yourself into something else. And maybe it's just saying, go the opposite direction in a way, do something different. If things are saying, feel other people's pain, go somewhere and feel somebody else's joy, you know. Will someone say they love you, Scorpio? It's Pentacles, so there may be a price to pay. It's the Nine of Pentacles. And could this be about saying, you know, that it just will feel comforting to you, that it's the love of somebody who really comforts you, and that you likewise have to do that. So maybe talking about a friendly, platonic kind of love too, where people really help each other find their best together. All right, Scorpio, we'll move on to Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, or Rising. Sagittarius, what is the feel or tone of the week? And you may be feeling like you really are, up against the wall in a way, emotionally speaking. You might be feeling like you're alone, but you're going to make the best use of what you have. It's the Seven of Wands, and it's upright. So I think this is saying this is just really a time to be ready to defend how you feel emotionally in certain ways, or what you're involved in. And Sagittarius, what is the rescue for the week? And it's the Four of Pentacles. So the emotional rescue for the week could be saying you have to figure out what you really need to hold on to at this point. That there may be some things you can let go, but it's more important about what you realize you need to hold on to. And so that pertains to emotions. So it could be the sense of, friendships or relationships that are moving around you right now, moving in different ways. So that was a 4. Here's another 4. It's the Four of Wands, and it's upright. Will someone say they love you? Yes, it will take a little work, and maybe that work involves finding a foundation together, finding a way of realizing that there is some sort of, project going on, a foundation is being built. All right, that was Sagittarius. We'll move on to Capricorn, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Capricorn, Sun, Moon, and Rising. What's the tone or feel of the week? That's the Knight of Swords. So the tone of the week is like maybe haste makes waste kind of stuff. Like this is saying that if you're moving too fast, you might be reckless, and you might endanger a relationship you're trying to start, or something like that, or you might blunder into friendships or relationships, other sensibilities, and it might not be appropriate. So I think this is saying that the tone of the week is to be careful and to check yourself, to not try to rush into anything right away. So what is the emotional rescue for the week? And it's our Queen of Wands. She's back again, and the Queen of Wands is back because the rescue maybe involve downplaying yourself a little bit. Not like saying you're going to do self-effacing kind of things, but it's saying you're not going to try to make yourself seem more important than really is warranted. And so it's like, say, check on the braggadocio stuff or things like that. And this is in terms of relationships. So it could be saying, how this will work towards making a better impression in the future. Will someone say they love you? And sure as rain it will. It's the Six of Cups. It's upright, but cups always means it will happen naturally. And so the Six of Cups is saying that it could also be involving something from the past, like friendships or associations. And I think this happened to somebody else too, this reading. So maybe old friends are coming back, and things are still giving off some sparks. All right, we're going to move on to Aquarius. Sun, Moon, or Rising, Aquarius. Aquarius, Sun, Moon, or Rising. What is the tone or feel of the week? It's the reverse Five of Swords. So the tone of the week feels like nothing really is going to be very helpful emotionally speaking, that there's just a lot of things that you should probably try to move out of the way of, get out of that position. It's not about nonviolence so much. There's some violent imagery in the card, but it's not about nonviolence so much as just saying there's nothing really to be gained and much more to be lost, and you can't win anything really. So if this is the emotional battle or situation, it's best just to consider that maybe it's not going to come back. Now, what is the rescue for the week? The emotional rescue, and it's the reverse Three of Swords. And so the rescue could be realizing that sometimes it's just practical sense that makes something work out right, and that all the preparation, all the lofty education or books you read or plans you make and have verifications from won't necessarily be helpful. That, sometimes it's just going to involve good normal planning, common sense. Will someone say they love you, Aquarius? And it will happen, but maybe with a little bit of work. It's the reversed Ace of Wands, and so that suggests that maybe if there was a situation where maybe there were delays or it got off to the wrong foot and it's been postponed, maybe that time is over and maybe this thing will happen then. Good luck, Aquarius. And we'll move on to Pisces, Sun, Moon, or Rising. All right, so Pisces, tone of the week. It's the reverse Knight of Pentacles. So everything is like moving really slowly, Pisces. It may feel like, emotionally speaking, if you're looking for movement on the emotional, relationships, friendships front, it seems to be really slow. This is you, perhaps, Pisces, that maybe you're just not feeling that energy of, whatever it should be, and that you're not as interested as maybe socializing. So what's the emotional rescue? It's the reverse Queen of Cups. And that could be said to signify that there is no emotional rescue, but it could be saying that this is just really the time that you want to stew more or less in, some of the bad emotions right now. And this could be saying that, some Pisces are having, difficult or challenging situations, and sometimes we just don't feel like we have a lot of control over the emotional parts of that, or how it reacts, what the reactions are. So maybe this is just saying your rescue is either trying to control that or just venting it and hoping for the best. Will someone say they love you? And it's yes, it will happen actually. It's the Six of Cups, so once again, it could be somebody you knew from before. It's not necessarily that somebody that you had a relationship with before, but maybe they were friends from before. All right. So that was the emotional exchanges for this week, and I'm so glad you were able to stop for that. And tomorrow is happy hour, so do show up for a happy hour. It'll be at its normal time of 10 o'clock. And, of course, Sunday is Banshee's Material Matters, also at 10 o'clock. And then later in the afternoon, it's our live stream from 2 to 4 p.m. And that finishes the week. So we will see you next time. Thanks again for coming, and take care.